Welcome back. In this video, we are going to exercise on the concepts we learned in the last video, this whole if, elif, else game. And we focus on the syntax and the logic behind this pattern. So let's jump right in. Therefore, we want to create a new scene and we pick the node of type node because we don't care about the node type for this one. And we just call it practice. Save the scene and attach a script to it. Open the script and then we can start. Let's start by preparing the basic stuff we need for this exercise. We are going to need a variable. Let's call it score. You can basically call it whatever you want. Give it a random number. I give it 10. The exact number is not important. Then you go and write a little reminder. We have the comparison operators from the boolean logic, you remember. Double equal. We have not equal. We have lower, less than, we have less than or equal to, we have greater than, we have greater than or equal to. And this should be it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seems about right. That's it. Now we prepare the ready function, not the enter tree function, the ready function, please. We start simple. Make sure you are indented one level, one tab. And now you type if, make an empty space, exactly one empty space. And then you go and write either true or false. Let's go with true first. True. Then you need a colon. And then you hit return on your keyboard. And it automatically indents 2 tabs into the if block right here. So in GDScript, the indentation is really important because everything we write in this if block, so to speak, is depends on whether this is true or false. So let's check this out. Print hello world and let's run the current scene. I use the shortcut Command R all the time. Yeah, and we get the output hello world. So far, so good. Let's check out the difference. Now I'm not inside of the if statement. Hello. And now I'm going to make this false. And you can see hello world has vanished and we only get hello. Because this is not indented. If we were to indent these 2 tabs so that it is inside of this code block, we then should not see it anymore in the output. Let's check this out. And tada, nothing to see here. Because the if statement is basically telling Godot to, hey, I'm evaluating to false and therefore please just skip all of this. So remember, this was the idea with the door is open. Now the Godot game engine looks inside of this code block and does stuff that is written inside of it, like printing stuff out. And now we can close the door if this is false. And now Godot just ignores everything we write inside of it. Enough talking. Now the drill. You are going to type if, empty space, true, colon, hit return, type print, whatever you want. And then you, in your mind, you're going to say, yeah, this string should be printed out because the if statement is true. Therefore, this code block should be evaluated or executed. Let's check this out. My guess is, yes, we will see the string something in the console. And I'm right. And now you're going to delete this and make it false. You try to predict, is this print statement going to be executed or not? I guess not, because the if statement is false and therefore the, so to speak, door is closed and this line should be ignored. So my guess is no, it is not printed. Yeah, and I'm right again. I'm really good at this. Just kidding. I'm not. It is really hard, so don't rush this stuff. It is okay to do it slow and steady. Now this is the first exercise. Write an if statement with true, write an if statement with false, and delete and repeat and delete and repeat. You get the point. The next step would be to use this score variable and a little Boolean expression using one of them. Just a little comparison for now. Because this exercise is not about Boolean expressions, really it is about the syntax and the construct of this if, else, elif stuff. Let's just combine this. At first, construct the Boolean expression. For example, and now print this out if you wonder what this evaluates to. But we can think about it for a short time. The score variable is initialized to 10. So now we did not change it in our code, so therefore it is 10 right here. Is 10 less than 200? Yes. So this should evaluate to true. Let's check this out. Yeah, it is evaluating to true. And now you can take this knowledge and type if, instead of just type true, print something, you can replace this true with the Boolean expression, score less than 200. Now let's delete this print statement. And now the game for this drill is also to predict the outcome of this scenario right here. Will this be executed or not? My strong guess is, because this Boolean expression evaluates to true, as we saw earlier, the door for this if statement is open, and therefore this should be printed. Yes, we will see something. Yeah, and basically you just delete this and repeat it. Pick a different Boolean expression. So will this be executed or not? Will this line be executed or not? Let's check this out. The score variable is still 10 because we did not change it. So is 10 not equal to 9? In my brain, yes. So this should be evaluating to true. Therefore, this should be printed out. Let's check this. Yeah, perfect. And if you are not sure what's going on, you can always print your Boolean expressions, of course. You should type it correctly. And therefore you see, yes, it is indeed evaluating to true. So therefore this if statement is being fired. Okay, nice. And you do this again and again as often as you want or need. Now for the next drill, we start again. And we will add the else statement to the mix. Let's check this out. If true, print something. Else, you need to type else, colon, hit return, and print something else. Now the important part here to know is, for the syntax, the else has to follow an if statement. You cannot write an else like so, because this else statement is not followed by an if statement. The Godot game engine screams and says, hey, expected a statement, found else instead, so please write an if statement first. You cannot do this, so it has to follow the if. You have space here. It just needs to follow the if statement. It does not care about those empty spaces right here. And the same holds true for the blocks, by the way. Empty spaces are just ignored. It's not important for the Godot game engine. So this works even if we have a lot of empty spaces. But we want to get rid of this because it looks ugly. Yeah, you do not want this. So we keep it clean and tight, and that is what we are going to do. So if true, print something else, print something else. So the else statement does not need a value right here of true or false. Leads to an error, I think. Yeah. It just needs else and then a colon, and then you hit return and you are good to go. And the else statement is just a fallback. So if this is false right here, then the else statement jumps in and executes its code block. So now something else. And to practice this, you just type it one time with true and one time with false, and then repeat again and repeat again. I just show you. You type if true, print something else, print something else. Then you look at it. Yeah, it's always good to take a guess what will happen. So in this case, we could predict to, yeah, because this is true, this line will be executed and this whole code block will be skipped. And now you delete and type if false, print something else, print. And now you try to predict what will be executed. In this case, because the if is false, the else steps in as a fallback and executes its code block. So therefore, something else should be printed out. Yeah, basically, this is what you are going to do. Repeat this, delete it, repeat it, delete it, repeat it, and so on, as often as you need. And now the next drill is to use Boolean expressions instead of just true or false. So now you go if score just equal to 10, print yes, else print no. And therefore you will try to predict the outcome. So because this Boolean expression evaluates to true, this line should be printed and this line should be skipped. And you are right. And now you are going to try to make this false. So in my case, I just do it like this. Check out, and now the else steps in. That's what you can do for the drill. And now we are going to focus on the if Elif chain. So let's start again with just Boolean values. And you can use the Elif, and it almost behaves like another if statement, because you also need an empty space and a Boolean value and a colon and a return. So it almost behaves like a normal if statement, but the same rule as with the else applies. You cannot type Elif in free space. It has to follow an if statement. So if you do something like this, you get an error because the Godot game engine does not allow you to just type an Elif. Yeah, and you can delete and repeat and try different combinations, because for this one, it behaves a little bit special. Let's investigate this by adding another Elif. Elif true, for example. Print, sorry. And now you try to predict. In this case, this is being executed from top to bottom, as code always does. So we start here, and because the if statement is true, this is being executed. And for the if-elif combination, everything else is being ignored, as with the else. So those two, even if this elif is true, the Godot game engine already ignored this. It just doesn't care because the if statement right here is already true. So it just does this line and ignores all the rest. And now you can just try different combinations. Let's make the if statement false right here and make this one true. Now try to predict what is happening. If false, so this is being skipped because this if statement is false. And now we go here. This elif is true, therefore this line should be printed out and this should be skipped. We only should see no. And we are right. And now let's make both of them false. And now it should be obvious in this case. Because this is false, it is skipped. Because this is false, it is skipped. And now this should be executed because it is true. Yes. And you just delete and repeat, write it again and again. This is important to really type this out. This out. Elif false, for example, print. This is important. Elif print. Oh, you see, I just did something really weird. You need to type Elif true, for example, and then print. Okay, now I got it. And if you have done so, you can try to evaluate what you have done right here, what is being executed, what is being skipped, and then you process it and check it out, and you delete and repeat. And the next one, you can replace the trues and false, the Boolean values, with actual Boolean expressions. So now let's make an example. And now you go and play the same game, the guessing game. Which string is being printed to the console? You just go line by line and figure it out. So score is 10. Is score not equal to 10? No, this is false, so this will be skipped. Is score equal to 10? Yes, it is. So this line is being printed out. And we do not have to look at this even more anymore because it is skipped anyways. You can be sure that no is being printed. And we are right. And now you just do this again and again with just pick some of those and combine it the way you want. And if you have done this, you can do one last exercise and just play around with the whole chain. So for example, you can start with the Boolean values again. So now we have the whole combination and you can always do one more Elif to make sure that you understand that you can stuff as many Elifs inside this if-else sandwich as you want. So this is the burger patty right here, and this is the meat inside. You can type this out again and again, and then as we did before, you can replace those values with Boolean expressions, score less than 10, and so on. Yeah, play around with this, try to predict, and repeat it as often as you need. To get familiar with the syntax, we have to get the syntax out of our way, and this basic knowledge of what is being executed. This should become second nature, so that we are free to actually think about the problems we try to solve with this. Yeah, and as a last step, you could even try nested if statements. I'm not the biggest fan of this, but you can do it, so you can practice it. Let's do just true, print, okay. And then nesting means type another if statement inside of this if block, if code block. And now you try to predict what's going on. In this nested cases, you just have to think about this as the main gateway. This is the main gate. If this is true, okay, this is being executed anyways, so okay, we do not have to think about it. And then inside of this if statement, we can just place other if statements. And if this door is closed, as in this case, it's just not printed out. But if we open this door also, it is being printed. So therefore we should see okay and no. Yeah, and the only thing you have to think about right here is the indentation level right. So the if statement needs to be inside of the if block, and then you open another if block by indenting it even one line deeper. And you can play around with this concept by just typing it like this. So now we have basically 3 doors in a line. The first door is opened, then this is being printed. Now we have opened the second door in this line, and therefore this is being printed. And we even have opened the third door, and now this is being printed. And just get a feeling for, if we close this door right here, all the other doors are closed as well. If we open this door, all the other doors are opened as well, or at least potentially opened, because we can close this one also, and therefore all the other doors following this door will be closed or not, or skipped as well. Only OK is being printed, but because we closed this door, this whole path here is closed as well. Yeah, that's the deal. You can practice it like this. Just do 3 if statements inside of each other and delete and repeat. You do not have to get more crazy like this, but you can try really weird combinations. Try to break this pattern. Try to figure out and predict what's going on. Try to have fun with this exercise. See ya in the next one.